little words. Just three. Be, been, being.
They look so small, so simple, so easy.
And yet, they are everywhere in English, in almost every sentence, in almost every conversation.
And for so many learners, they are one of the most confusing things in the whole language.
So tonight, we are going to fix that, together, slowly, clearly, and once and for all.
Welcome to English Flow Fluently. I'm Jack.
And I'm Emma. And we are so happy you are here with us right now.
Whether you are sitting at home, walking outside, cooking dinner, or lying in bed listening before sleep,
This episode is for you. And by the end of it, be, been, and being will feel like old friends.
very useful, very reliable old friends.
The best kind.
Before we begin, if this podcast helps you learn English, if you enjoy our slow, relaxed conversations, please like this episode and subscribe to English Flow Fluently.
It helps us so much, and it helps other learners around the world find us. So if you have a friend learning English, share this. It could make a real difference for them.
Okay, let's get into it.
So, Jack, I want to start with a question, a very basic question.
Go ahead.
What is be?
Okay, simple question, but the answer is actually quite interesting.
It is.
Be is a verb, but it's a very special verb. In English, we call it the verb to be.
And it is the most used verb in the entire English language.
The most used verb in the entire English language.
Think about that. Every time you say I am, she is, they are, we were, you are using the verb to be.
It is in everything, in questions, in answers, in descriptions, in tenses, in passive sentences, everywhere.
So understanding be, been, and being is not just one grammar rule. It unlocks so much of English at once.
It really does. When this clicks, a huge part of English becomes clearer.
So let's start with the simplest form, be.
Be.
Be is the base form of the verb, the root, the original.
We use be in a few specific places, and we'll go through them naturally, in real sentences, not in grammar rules.
Because grammar rules can feel cold and confusing, but real sentences feel alive.
The first place we use be is after modal verbs, words like will, can, should, must, would, might.
For example, I will be there at 5 o'clock.
I will be there at 5 o'clock.
Say it with us. I will be there at 5 o'clock.
Pause.
Let's practice this question together. We'll ask, you answer in your head or out loud.
Have you ever been to a place that really surprised you? Think about it. Where was that place? What surprised you?
Have you ever been in a situation where your English really helped you? Maybe at an airport, or in a shop, or with a foreign friend, your English opened a door.
That moment. Remember that moment. That is your English working for you.
Now, let's move to the third and final word, the one that trips up the most beginners.
Being.
Being.
Being is the present participle of be. Again, don't stress about the grammar term. Just think of being as the ing form of be.
We use being in a few important ways, and once you see them, they will make a lot of sense.
The first way, we use being in continuous tenses with am, is, or are. This is called the passive continuous.
For example, the house is being cleaned.
The house is being cleaned.
This means right now, someone is cleaning the house. It is happening at this moment.
The road is being repaired.
The road is being repaired.
Dinner is being prepared.
Dinner is being prepared.
In all of these sentences, being tells us the action is happening right now and something or someone is receiving that action.
It's a very useful structure, especially in everyday life.
Your order is being processed. You see that in online shopping all the time.
All the time.
Every online order. Your order is being processed. Please wait.
So now you know exactly what it means.
The second way we use being, as a noun, when we talk about the idea of existing, of being alive, of being something.
For example, being kind is important.
Being kind is important.
Being patient takes practice.
Being patient takes practice.
Being yourself is the most beautiful thing you can do.
Being yourself is the most beautiful thing you can do.
I love that sentence.
Me too.
In these sentences, being works like a subject. It starts the sentence. It's like saying the act of being kind is important.
But being kind is important sounds much more natural, much more flowing.
Let's practice. Finish these sentences in your head. Being honest is...
Maybe being honest is not always easy, or being honest is the best way to live.
Being healthy means... Maybe being healthy means taking care of your body and your mind.
Beautiful. You are building real English sentences now.
The third way we use being, after prepositions, words like after, before, without, despite. For example, after being sick for a week, she finally felt better.
After being sick for a week, she finally felt better.
Without being asked, he helped her carry the bags.
Without being asked, he helped her carry the bags.
Despite being tired, he finished all his work.
Despite being tired, he finished all his work.
These sentences sound very natural in English, and they use being perfectly. Now, let's do something really helpful. Let's compare all three words, be, been, and being, in similar sentences so you can hear the difference clearly.
Great idea. Let's go.
I want to be happy, using be.
I want to be happy.
I have been happy lately, using been.
I have been happy lately.
Being happy takes daily practice, using being.
Being happy takes daily practice.
Did you hear the difference? Same root word, three different forms, three different uses.
Let's do another one.
She will be a great teacher, using be.
She will be a great teacher.
She has been teaching for 10 years, using been.
She has been teaching for 10 years.
Being a teacher is her biggest dream, using being.
Being a teacher is her biggest dream.
Say all three after us, slowly.
She will be a great teacher.
She has been teaching for 10 years.
Being a teacher is her biggest dream.
Well done. That was real English, complex and beautiful and natural.
Now, let's have a proper conversation using everything we learned today so you can hear how be, been, and being flow naturally in real speech.
Emma, how long have you been interested in languages? Oh, I have been interested in languages since I was a child. I think I was about 8 years old when I first heard someone speaking another language, and I thought, I want to be able to do that someday.
That's wonderful. And being multilingual, does it help in daily life?
It helps so much. Being able to talk to people in their language, it changes the whole conversation. It changes the whole relationship.
Has it been difficult?
It has been very difficult sometimes. There have been moments when I felt like giving up, but being patient with myself, that has been the key.
Being patient with myself has been the key. That is a sentence full of be, been, and being.
Did you notice? 3 forms in one natural sentence.
Let's say it slowly so our listeners can hear each one.
Being patient with myself has been the key.
Being, been. 2 forms, 1 sentence. Perfectly natural.
Now, Jack, have you ever been in a situation where you couldn't communicate, where language was a real barrier?
Yes, I have been in that situation. It was during a trip, and I couldn't speak the local language at all. Everything was being said around me, and I understood nothing. It was lonely.
That sounds hard.
It was. But being in that situation, it made me understand how our listeners feel when English is happening around you and you can't follow it.
And that is why we are here.
Exactly. So that being an English learner feels a little less lonely.
A little less lonely.
Now, let's do a quick and fun grammar check. We call this, which one is correct?
We'll say 2 sentences. One is correct, one has a mistake, and you decide which one sounds right.
Ready? First one,
She will being late, or she will be late.
blank.
The correct one is, she will be late. After modal verbs like will, we use be, not being.
Second one,
I have been waiting for an hour, or I have be waiting for an hour.
blank.
I have been waiting for an hour is correct. After have and has, we use been, not be.
Third one,
Be kind is important, or being kind is important.
blank.
Being kind is important is correct. When we use it as the subject of a sentence, we use being, not be.
Fourth one,
The letter is being written, or the letter is be written.
blank.
The letter is being written is correct. In the passive continuous, we use is being. That's is plus being together.
You did so well, really.
Let's now look at some very common daily life sentences with all 3 forms, so you can hear how natural they sound.
Morning sentences. Things you might say at the beginning of the day.
It's going to be a beautiful day.
It's going to be a beautiful day.
I have been awake since 5 o'clock.
I have been awake since 5 o'clock.
Being early feels so good.
Being early feels so good.
That one is very aspirational for me.
Same, very aspirational.
Work sentences.
This might be a busy day.
This might be a busy day.
I have been working on this project all week.
I have been working on this project all week.
Being focused really helps.
Being focused really helps.
Evening sentences.
It's nice to be home.
It's nice to be home.
I have been looking forward to this all day.
I have been looking forward to this all day.
Being with family is the best part of the day.
Being with family is the best part of the day.
Beautiful. All of those sentences are things real people say every day.
And now you know exactly what be, been, and being are doing inside each one.
Let's take a moment to review everything we learned today, very simply, very clearly.
Be, the base form. Use it after modal verbs like will, can, should, must, would, might. And use it in to be phrases.
I will be ready. She can be kind. It must be true. I want to be healthy.
Been, the past participle. Use it with have, has, and had. It connects the past to the present. It shows experiences and ongoing situations.
I have been here before. She has been sick. We have been friends for years. It had been a long day.
Being, the present participle. Use it in passive continuous sentences with is being or was being. Use it as a noun to start sentences. Use it after prepositions.
It is being fixed. Being patient is important. After being sick, she recovered. Despite being tired, he smiled.
Let's say the 3 words one final time. Together.
Be,
Been.
being.
Beautiful. 3 small words, endless possibilities.
Now, let's do a final speaking practice. We'll give you sentence starters. You finish them, in your head or out loud.
Ready. First one.
I will be.
Blank.
Second one.
I have been. Blank.
Third one. Being is important to me.
Blank.
Fourth one.
It might be. Blank.
And fifth one.
I have been learning English because. Blank.
Whatever you said, that was real English, using real grammar, naturally and beautifully.
You know, when I think about be, been, and being, I think about how much of English is about connection.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Be connects the subject to a quality. She is kind. Been connects the past to the present. I have been here before. Being connects an action to a feeling. Being here feels good.
Connection. Yes, that is the heart of this verb.
And maybe that is the heart of language itself.
To connect, to share, to say, I am here. I have been on this journey, and being with you right now in this moment means something to me.
That was beautiful, Emma.
I surprised myself.
It happens.
Calm. Before we go, we have a comment question for you, and we really want you to answer it.
In the comments, write one sentence using been. Just one. Tell us about something you have been doing lately.
Maybe I have been learning English every day, or I have been listening to this podcast, or I have been working very hard.
Write it in English, in the comments. We read every single one.
And if you liked this episode, if be, been, and being feel even a little clearer now, please like it and share it with a friend who is learning English.
Subscribe to English Flow Fluently for more slow, relaxing, beginner-friendly English lessons.
We make every episode with so much care because we know how much this language means to you and how hard you are working.
And we see that work. We really do.
Every time you listen, you are doing something brave, something that will change your life.
So don't stop. Keep listening, keep practicing, keep going.
And remember, be patient with your learning because you have been growing this whole time. And being here with us tonight, that already counts as progress.
3 forms, 1 goodbye. Perfectly done.
I planned that.
I know you did.
Take care of yourself tonight.
Rest well.
Keep flowing in English.
This is English Flow Fluently.
Good night.
Bye.